Last time Barbara Corcoran was here, I didn't want her to leave.
I know.
Yeah.
Having the luxury, the gift of Barbara Corcoran on our show is just phenomenal. And here she is again.
Are you schmoozing me?
I love you. My headphones.
I'm a married woman, you dirty old man.
No, I'm an old gay guy.
Oh, you're gay? I have a brother for you.
Well, no, I'll do your brother.
Okay.
Tell my boyfriend. But anyway, no, having you on our show you are a gift. I mean, you always say things that motivate and elevate, and I don't even think you know it. I don't think you know how great you are.
I'm suspicious. You're a New Yorker. You got a big mouth. You got a popular show. You're schmoozing me for something. You want my money. You want something.
I don't need any. I really don't need anything.
Okay, I'll take you on face value.
All right. So Barbara Corcoran, let's start with getting your ass kicked off of Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, what a nice warm up.
No, by the way, Barbara sent me an email, and I can feel the pain in your email. You were the first to be ejected from the show. And
Absolutely.
It really, really affected you in a very, very dramatic way.
Well, the night before this happened, this was the first elimination, and so I was number one, but I didn't want to be number one in that category. They sent to everyone at Dancing with the Stars a memo: pack your bag, your pajamas, your clothes for the next day at Good Morning America in case you're eliminated. I was so arrogant, I'm like, I'm not packing anything. And I didn't. And I got eliminated. But when they take you off that show, it happens so fast. I had tears in my eyes from the moment they said eliminated. They take you down a hatchet, metal stairs. You go with your high heels down the stairs. They put you in a black car with a security guard in the front seat. They take you into the bowels of LAX airport. You never see another human being until you're sitting in the first class section of JetBlue. And that's when Keo turned to me and reached for my hand and said, "You doing okay, boo?" He's got that delicious male voice. "You doing okay, boo?" And I said, "I'm fine." And I cried for 10 minutes.
So I mean, leading up to Dancing with the Stars, how many weeks investment
Well, remember, I had been practicing with my heart and soul in it for 5 weeks, for 5 hours per day, landing all kinds of things that I thought I was actually getting. I just really thought I would get that mirror ball. And I wanted it more for him. He's a young stud. So good looking. I just pictured that guy posing with that mirror ball. Is it ball or bowl? Whatever the heck they get. And I'll never see it.
But the thing about Dancing with the Stars is I feel like there's so many more people that are coming on now that are dancers already. And I feel like that wasn't the way the show started. It's people who, as the weeks go on, you progress and you get better. And I like to see that. I don't want the person who is a dancer to win. I want a person who gets better as we watch them go on during the week.
Right. I agree with you on that, but it's a hugely successful show, so they obviously have a good formula that works. I just want to see one person improve by the weeks, which was me.
Yeah.
But I was going home instead.
But Barbara, okay, you being such a brilliant person, a great mind, what did you walk away with? What did you learn from this experience that it's something you should share with us that we need to know?
You know what I learned? I learned again. You learn the same lessons in life. Excuse me, I have a cold. Sorry for that. I learned that I'm really good at taking a hit and getting back up. After I cried on that plane on the way home, I went to sleep, and Keo reminded me that I snored loudly the whole way home.
Thanks.
And I got on Good Morning America that morning. They said, "How does it feel to be a loser?" And most people don't want it. Well, hey, that's what I was. I was a loser. And amazingly, I was happy, light on my feet. I was already over it. And so I learned, that I'm really good at taking a hit and getting back up. But what I learned in life is I've been taking 3 dancing lessons every week up in Harlem, the same studio I've been working out with Keo before this whole fiasco. And I've learned how to dance. And it was hard for me because I don't learn sequencing. I'm a dyslexic type kid, and you can't learn sequences. And that's what dancing is. So I got over my biggest fear, and I'm learning how to dance. And I'm going out on the New York scene with a beautiful gown on. I don't care if I'm the oldest babe on that dance floor. I'm going to have all young guys ask me to dance with the permission of my husband, Bill. I haven't worked up the courage to ask him yet. And I'm going to be a star in New York. So that's what I got out of it.
So what a fantastic experience this has been.
Oh, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful I took the chance. And everybody told me I shouldn't because for lots of good logical reasons. And I'm so thankful I trusted my gut and said, I'm just going to go for it.
That is
what
awesome.
happens.
As you know, Barbara, we see Barbara Corcoran on Shark
Don't be
Tank.
feeling sorry for me. I hear a few ahs here. I don't want any pity on
That's
this
all
thing.
because you sound so cute.
This is a fantastic story.
Yeah.
Oh,
Barbara
okay.
Corcoran, of course, on Shark Tank every Sunday night, 9, 8 Central. We love what we see you do on Shark Tank, but Barbara's story is truly where the gold is located. I mean, you come from a background that is nothing like where you are now in life.
Oh, opposite, really.
How did you get from there to here?
Well, that's a big question, my God. You mean,
Okay,
how did I
start
live
at the
my
very
life?
beginning.
Well, the background I had was one of tremendous love by my mother and father, Ed and Flo, and they had 10 kids, and they raised us in a 2-bedroom flat in Edgewater, New Jersey. But it sounds worse than it is. We had a very happy family. My mother was like a drill sergeant. Everything was in its place, and we were the apples of my parents' eyes, each and every one of us. So they raised 10 great kids. And we all have very happy lives. So really, we started out with the riches that really count in life, and we all left that home with confidence. And you have to appreciate when you don't have confidence how important that card is. Love and confidence, my God, those are the killers in life that will take you down if you don't have them. But from there, I had a lucky break at the Fort Lee Diner as a counter waitress, and a guy walked in, offered me a ride home. He became my first boyfriend. I was 23 at the time. I had never had a boyfriend. I wanted one, but nobody asked me out. And then he loaned me $1,000 to start a brokerage company about a year and a half later.
So what was it about real estate that sucked you in? What was it about selling and renting houses to people who need homes?
Well, the minute I got on the street and started opening doors with keys and saying, you want to rent it, you want to rent it, all it was a social hour for me. I chatted people up. I met all kinds of people from all over the world. And I knew it wasn't even like working. From day one, I thought, my God, I'm getting paid for this. And so it was really my 23rd job of my life, but the job where I was working for myself. Working for myself was the magic key.
Look, you know, what you can take away from a Barbara Corcoran conversation is just immense, because you can apply all of this to your everyday life, no matter if it's how you and your friends get along, your family, or in your professional life. What was the best day on the job when you were with Corcoran, your real estate company?
My best day of my life was in the late 70s or maybe early 80s. I forget now. But I made a profit. I made a profit in a year. I was shocked. I actually made a profit. I never made a profit of $71,000. And I went out immediately and I bought my mother and my father a brand new car.
Oh, wow.
I got my mother a convertible in blue, her favorite color. And I got my dad the modern version of what we had as kids, the old clunker, which he called his Blue Beauty, which each of his kids learned to drive in. And so you had dents in them for every single kid who learned to drive.
Excellent.
So he had a new car, and he wanted a blue Lincoln Continental. That's what he got. And my mom, I forget it, I think it was a Pontiac, convertible either way. And to have my Uncle Richie and his pal deliver those cars from New Jersey to Florida, where they had just retired, you know what do we all want to do? You want to take whoever you love in your life and you want to do something nice for them. I mean, having the power to do that, I really fell in love with real estate. I said, thank you, God, that this happened, that I could actually do this. And you know what? After that point, I started making consistent profits, except for the terrible years where I almost went down many times. But it was the beginning of a turn, and I actually started feeling like I could actually build a business that would work, actually.
Is that a thing for you? You said you were really immensely grateful in that moment. How much of your daily life is gratitude? Because I've been hearing that, I feel like, more and more from really successful people saying you have to stop down and be grateful for whatever the situation is.
Well, I've gotten better at it because I've simply gotten older. I'm closer to the grave, you get it.
Oh,
so when no, it's the truth. When you realize time is running out so quickly, you become more grateful, because what I look around, I have 2 healthy kids. How many of us know people who don't have healthy children or lost children? I have a husband who drives me absolutely nuts, but at least I stuck with him for 34 years. So I need a medal, and so does he, I assure you on that. I have beautiful homes. I have total freedom to do what I want. Or what I don't want to do, and I choose to work so hard because I choose. I don't have to. Come on, like, what is wrong with my life? Pinch me. Am I alive? You know, is it really true?
You have all these people come through Shark Tank with some great ideas, some mediocre ideas, whatever. What is the number one thing you look for in a possible investment for you? What horse do you want to back first?
You know, I keep it kind of simple. I'm sitting in my seat on Shark Tank now for 9 years, and it took me a few years to really learn how to do it well. I just want to like the person. I know that sounds sick and not very sophisticated, but I want to like him. Because when you like someone, a lot goes into that emotion of liking. It means you trust them. It means they've impressed you. It means you want to hang out with them. And so if I just like someone right away, I'm predisposed to buying in. Then I want to just really try to find out if they're going to be able to take a hit and keep on ticking. Because I can tell you, of all the Shark Tank investments, 50 some are to date, my 5 phenomenal ones have the same traits in common. And I would say, number one, they have the ability not to feel sorry for themselves, to just bounce back up, almost like a lower IQ, like, hit me again, I'm up, hit me again. They take the hits really, really well. And so I'm trying to, in the questioning, size someone up like that. It's a hard thing to do, but I usually trust my gut.
What's your number one investment?
Who I like or making the most money on?
Yeah, making the most money on.
Oh, see, I always say who I like the most. Certainly Grace and Lace, who is that lovely couple from Phoenix who lost their first child while she was knitting little booties in bed rest. Oh. And that became a sock business. And now it's a $12 million business in sales a year. Wow. Selling a lot more than socks. But they came out of their heart, their passion. And you know why they started that company? To get over their loss of their child. Yeah. Rick, the husband, came into Melissa in the hospital room and says, we have 2 choices here, honey. We could either go forward and make something good of this, or we could cry for the rest of our lives. Yeah, I can't say that without almost crying myself.
Wow.
But,
so having an emotional attachment to whatever it is you're doing is probably another piece of great advice. If you're not emotionally into it, and if it's not you got to put yourself into what you're doing. Otherwise, why do it?
All businesses that are started out of nothing and become something are an extension of the personality that started it. It really is.
Well, so
every time.
Here in New York City, Corcoran is, your name, the brand is worth so much in the real estate world.
To the next guy who bought it, not to me.
Well, see, I was going to ask you, though, because we have our friend like Bobby Brown, for instance, from the makeup world. She no longer runs Bobby Brown. Barbara Corcoran is not at the Corcoran agency anymore. But your legacy will always live on in that name. But is it rough watching them do business, and you may disagree with how they're doing something, or because it has your name on it still?
Can I tell you, I'm thankful that my name is still on it. A lot of companies are bought and the name disappears. That would have broken my heart. They're my people, my Corcoran group. That's why I named the group. But yes, is it hard? For example, before last Christmas, I walked past the shop on 89th and Madison. I noticed their flowers were faded on the doorstep. I immediately bought new flowers, and late that night after they were closed, I replaced them because I'm not going to work through a giant corporation to get new flowers put in. And it freshened up the front of the shop, and I felt happy. But was it hard for me to see those ugly flowers? Of course. A stupid thing, but it is still in my heart, part and parcel of who I was and still am. So you sell it, but you never really leave it.
You know what I love zooming through Barbara Corcoran's book was...
Zooming? You didn't hang on every word?
Well, no, before you... It's actually a book I want to reread. Now, I'm being so serious about this. You live this life that just seems so uncomplicated. It seems like we are so busy complicating everything we try to do. We get in our own way. We trip on our own feet.
I do the same. Everyone does. Really.
I don't know, but you just make things sound simple.
Don't believe me. Nothing's simple.
So,
it's because I have a limited vocabulary. You're getting the wrong idea.
And she's self-deprecating.
But are you the kind of person who's very good at giving other people advice and terrible at taking your own advice? Or are you implementing it as well?
No, I don't preach what I don't practice because I think people are too smart. They see right through that stuff. You recognize phoniness in anything, don't you?
I think so.
No, I like to do and hopefully not preach because people will mimic if something's working, and that's a more powerful lesson than anything.
Let's get back to Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, no.
So
I hope you're going to move on to Keo, that 26... Go.
How tall is he?
Do you still talk, too?
He's probably 30 feet tall.
No, really. You are 5 foot.
I'm 5'5". He's about 6'2".
Wow.
Yeah, but more importantly, he's ripped.
Yeah.
I'm not.
And so
the first episode, she shows us his abs. She's like, look at his abs.
Yeah, the judges accused you of grabbing his private parts.
Listen, if I wanted to grab his private part, I know how to aim. That I was on his thigh, trust me.
Okay.
Do you guys still talk? Are you still friends?
Oh, I'm in love with Keo.
Oh.
He's my sweetheart that I never had when I was 16. And he is so charming and so genuine. He's really such a lovely, lovely man, even though to me I want to say boy.
Right.
He's 26.
Right.
He's my son's age, and I'm leaning up on him 5 hours a day. Not bad.
Why not?
Will you be judging people differently on Shark Tank? Do you think now that you've felt the other side of it? I know it's apples and oranges in terms of what you're judging, but has that changed your perspective on it?
Yes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to spot the loser early on and get on their side and get everybody voting for them, because I know how that feels now. I'm going to look at the least likely candidate to win and get right behind them.
Aww. I love that.
Wow. Barbara, it's so great to have you here. Thank you for coming on.
I guess that's a goodbye, Elvis.
Well, no. I've got a producer yelling at me over here.
Okay.
Look at it. His hair is white because he dressed as Colonel Sanders for Halloween. He can't get the white
like
out of
Colonel
his...
Sanders, yeah. And may I just mention to you, I would have never guessed you to be a gay guy. You don't seem like a gay guy. No, really.
Well, no,
What does a gay guy seem like?
Yeah, let's talk stereotypes.
Yeah.
Well, no, really.
Oh, yeah, don't get me going.
No, really.
And what's your nationality, by the way? Only kidding.
Here we go. Well, no, I'm as gay as I couldn't be gayer if my name was Gay Garrison. I'm as gay as gay can be.
Okay, I usually have that gaydar thing going. I didn't pick up this one.
Oh no, if you've been hanging around me too much. Your gaydar is way off.
Oh, really? Is it really?
I'm wearing a lavender shirt. I don't know.
Well, okay. You could have had a wife dress you in that.
Hey, we were talking earlier before. Can we just have another moment? Because I mean,
1 minute.
Okay, thank you. 2 minutes.
Who's the boss here anyway?
Yeah, well, my name's on
Colonel
the damn
Sanders
T-shirt.
or Elvis?
Colonel Sanders. Hush, Colonel. Last night I went out with some friends, and we had what I like to call a New York night. You are so synonymous. You are New York. New York is. I mean, the Corcoran group is just so New York, and you are New York. What is it about this city? I mean, do you still get turned on living in this city?
This city is a miracle emotion.
Talk about it.
Yeah. Here's what's great about New York, from my perspective, all right? It's a city that values change above all things. It's a city that wants to know what you could do for me, not lately, but now, right? It puts a value on the immediacy of what is possible and what can you actually pull out of your butt, that kind of a thing.
Right.
So in New York City, what I loved is it had so much room for a newcomer. Here's a kid out of Edgewater who has no right playing with the big guys, no right joining the boys club, which I never did, but I competed until I beat them. All right. And it was welcome to me. It was like, she can do something different. She's more creative. It had enough of vitality to it that it enabled me to build a business. Any other city, I would have never been as successful as I was here in New York. I love New York. It values change and the newcomer above all else, and productivity.
Wow.
It's very practical.
What's the biggest misconception, in your opinion,
about New York City?
New York City?
That people are not friendly. I think it's a city where you see what you see is what you get. I've spent a lot of time now in L.A. I'm not knocking L.A., but I meet the friendliest people. But I dig a little deeper, a little later on, there's still about the same degree of friendliness. New York, it's like you break yourself into that hard crust, you're friends for life. How many of us have lifetime friends that we treasure, that you can trust? They tell you, can you say suck?
Yes, please say suck.
You suck in that outfit. You're not going to hear that in L.A. They're going to say, you look darling, and then talk about you behind your back. I'm not knocking
give you
LA.
some like sprouts or something to eat.
Oh yeah. On top of it, add insult to injury, try to make you healthy.
Yeah.
Well, we love having you here, Barbara.
I love being here.
Come back earlier some morning so we can spend more time with you.
Okay, and you know what?
She got lost in her own city trying to get here.
You come back as a straight man, and I'll marry you.
All right, done deal.
Okay.
Barbara Corcoran, of course, Shark Tank every Sunday night, and of course, Dancing with the Stars is still on ABC. But why watch? She's not on it anymore. But anyway, thank you for coming on, Barbara Corcoran.
Thank you.